Morning YouTube, it's I, Danielle, better known as Danielle Happy Medium, and off the back of the Q&A that I did on Wednesday evening and the questions I've had asked to me about what is flipping the switch, in this video topic we're going to look at flipping the switch and how easy it is to get yourself into the spirit world. This technique is one that I've used for many years now, one that I find the most simplest of all techniques for me personally. I can't guarantee it for everybody, but the majority of students that I train or the amount of mediums that I look at, this technique seems to work the best. Flipping the switch is as easy as it says, flipping the switch. Flipping the switch from the conscious mind to the spiritual mind. And easily done by the power of thought. Everything to do with the spirit world is thought-based. Everything that we do, everything that we speak of, everything that we see, everything that happens within the spiritual world is because of a thought. The universal law in the world in which that we live in, a thought then becomes an action. Why? Because that is the way the universe works. Because of energy. Energy is thought-based matter. But when we work with vibration, it is the vibration of the thought makes you feel good. The thought of feeling negative makes your vibration negative, because the thought and the power of the mind rules everything. If we take the concept of neuroscience, the mind controls every part of the body with a single thought. Not because we do the action, it has to be a thought before it becomes an action. So why would the spirit world be any different? Why would we as mental mediums, being thought-based mediums, mental medium of the mind, which is thought-based, why would it be any different? It's common sense. It's a no-brainer really when you think about it. So let me help you understand more about what I talk about when I talk about flipping the switch. For those who do the rostrum work, church work, or SNU work, or any sort of demonstration work here, UK, abroad, anywhere, this technique is going to work for everybody, or just about everybody. What we do is before we stand up on that rostrum, or as we're starting to stand up, you will use 4 statements. Whichever one you choose to work for, or whichever one works best for you, go with. The one I use is when I start to stand up, my first thought out of my mind before I start speaking is, let the people in. Let me see who's there. Let me know who's there. Who's coming. What is your story? Who are you? Where do you want to be in the room? I have already shifted my consciousness because I've made it a thought, made the intention that I'm going to the spirit world, and I'm already in the spirit world. And you're going to be looking at me thinking, it can't be that easy, Danielle. Trust me, it is that easy. And you've got no idea how easy it is. And there's no mechanics here, there's no structure, there's no nothing. It is this simple. It is as simple as you stand up and use the 4 statements of, I'm ready to work, let the people in, what's your story, who's there, or what's your relationship. You've got 5 statements there. That's going to shift your consciousness over to the spirit world, and you're going to become aware of the spirit world. Why? Because that's thought. Your thought's being pushed out to the universe, being pushed out to the spirit world. Your guides will have picked that up, and automatically you've shifted your consciousness, which is flipping the switch. Now, for those who are doing the private sittings, again, it's this simple. Clients in, sitting in the room, wherever it is that you're doing your sittings. Put yourself in the seat. Straight away, you think to yourself, who's this lady looking for? Who's there from the spirit world? Who's coming to talk to this lady today? Automatically you flip your switch, put yourself into the spirit world, you're going to become aware of your sensory system. Your sensory system should now be starting to fire off. You may see these people, you may hear these people, you may know they're there, you may feel that they're there. It is this simple, folks. It really is this simple. And for those who overcomplicate it, for those who try to make it complicated because of the structured list that we go, so when the other flip of the switch is a structure which I recommend to stay away from. This is a lot easier, it's a lot more free flowing, it's freestyling mediumship as I call it. It's the best of the best. If you're going to go with the structured stuff, which I highly recommend you don't, but if you do, you would again think yourself into the spirit world, but instead of saying what's your story or who's there or I'm ready to work now, let the people in, or who's this lady looking for, who's this gentleman looking for, you would think in your mind, what's your age? Who are you? What's your relationship to these people? What did you die of? So you have restriction in it all of the time, which structures your communicator, which structures your work, which you don't want to be doing. Because ultimately you lose the blend of the spirit world, you lose your communication, and you lose your spirit communicator, which then flips you over onto a psychic link because you've done a checklist. And unfortunately, once you've done that checklist, you run out of things to ask. So the best thing to do is stick with, what is your story? Who is it you've come to talk to? Why are you here? Tell me a little bit about yourself. I'm ready to talk to you. These are the simplest techniques that you can use to flip the switch to put yourself in the spiritual world. If you're doing the structured stuff, try to drop it if you can. Go over to this one. It takes a bit of time to blend this in, but once you blend it in, it'll work for a lifetime for you, and you can grow and adapt from that. And I can hear people, as my guides are shouting in, but Danielle, people's going to say, well, what about when you've said, what's the story? When it starts to dry up or things aren't running as well as you want, then you go in your mind again and you go, I need a little bit more from you. Tell me a little bit more about yourself. Tell me what's important to you and your communicator, or you and the loved one. There's lots of different questions you can ask instead of going to this structure, if you learn to train your mind that little bit differently. But in essence, flipping the switch, it's this easy. It is that simple. You've walked yourself into the spirit world. You've thought yourself in there, because everything that we do for the spirit world is thought based. And no matter how many mechanics or how much stuff you put in there, it will ultimately always be thought based. Because that is how the spirit world works with your mind, by the thought, or the power of thought, or through the thoughts that are then impressed upon the energy field or are pressed upon the mind, in order to then show you images through clairvoyance, hearing things through clairaudience, feeling things through clairsentience or claircognilian, just knowing them there. Or it could be that you use clairaugustus, which is the smelling clair. Or you could use the taste clair. Whichever clairs you're using, make sure that you ask these questions, which will ultimately flip the switch, get you in the spirit world, and get you up and on your feet. Best thing to do is trust what you get and give it. Once you're finished, say within your mind, I'm not working anymore. Everybody needs to go back. I'm finished for the day, and come out. And you need to come back to the walking world. You've walked yourself back. You've flipped the switch back over. That's it. It's this easy, folks. It really, really is. So for them that asked me the questions, and for those who wanted more on it, this is it. It is this simple. I guarantee you, within 6 weeks of trying it this way, you will find that your mediumship is up and on its feet, and in a much easier and much quicker way, if you learn to trust in the power of the thought and trust in what you get back. I've been Danielle, better known as Danielle, a happy medium, and I will be seeing you lot all very, very soon.